It started like any other small-town night. Quiet, familiar, safe. The kind of night where you could still hear crickets chirping and neighbors locking their doors at exactly 9 p.m. In the sleepy town of Ashwood, Oregon, everyone knew each other's routines. And that's why what happened to Ethan Myers shook the entire community to its core. Ethan wasn't the kind of person who just vanished. He was 28, worked at a local mechanic shop, known for his easy smile and reliability. On Friday, March 3rd, he was supposed to have dinner with his fiancée Lena at her parents' house just a few streets away, but he never made it. Lena later told investigators that he called her at 7:42 p.m. He sounded calm, normal. He said, "I'll be right back. Just need to grab something from the shop." That was the last time anyone ever heard his voice. At first, no one panicked. It was a small town. People went off the grid sometimes. But when midnight came and Ethan's phone went straight to voicemail, Lena drove to the shop herself. The lights were still on inside. The bay door was half open. Ethan's truck was parked out front, keys still in the ignition. And on the workbench, there was a half-finished sandwich, still warm. Something was wrong. The next morning, police were called. They searched the area, questioned co-workers, checked surveillance cameras from nearby businesses. Nothing. No sign of a struggle, no footprints leading away. It was as if Ethan Myers had been erased from existence in the middle of a normal night. Lena told police something that chilled everyone. She said Ethan had mentioned strange noises at the shop the week before, like whispers when he was alone, and the sound of someone walking just behind him. He laughed it off then, but not this time. Because the last thing he ever said was, "I'll be right back." And he never was.
By Sunday morning, Ashwood was buzzing with rumors. People said Ethan had run away. Others whispered he'd been taken. Detective Sarah Nolan, a seasoned investigator with calm eyes and a tired voice, led the case. She'd seen her share of missing persons, but something about this one didn't fit the pattern. There were no signs of theft, no financial troubles, no secret life. Ethan's wallet, phone, and truck all untouched. And that unfinished sandwich, it was still there when police arrived. Sarah examined the shop's security footage. At 7:45 p.m., Ethan walks in. He sets his phone on the counter. Then, he looks up. His expression changes, like he's hearing something. He slowly turns toward the back of the shop, and then the video glitches. For 6 full seconds, the screen goes black. When it returns, Ethan is gone. The timestamp continues uninterrupted. No cuts, no signs of tampering. Sarah replayed it over and over. Nothing. Just that haunting 6 seconds of darkness. Even stranger, the audio feed, which should have captured ambient sound, was completely silent during those same 6 seconds. No static, no hum, just void. When technicians enhanced the video frame by frame, one detail emerged, a faint reflection in the shop's side window. It looked like a figure. Tall, thin, standing impossibly still behind Ethan. No features, no color, just a silhouette, darker than the shadows around it. But there was something else, something nearly everyone missed. In the split second before the screen went dark, Ethan's mouth moved. He said something under his breath. Lip readers later suggested it looked like the words, "It's you again." That detail was never released to the public, But people close to the case claim Sarah kept a copy of that footage, replaying it night after night in her office, lights off, sound muted, just watching Ethan vanish into thin air. When the shop owner came forward, he mentioned something odd too. He said every time he closed up at night, he could feel the temperature drop, like someone had just opened a freezer behind him. And sometimes, when he looked up at the glass, he'd see a reflection that didn't match his own.
Detective Sarah Nolan couldn't shake what she saw on that footage. She had worked homicide, missing persons, even cold cases, but this one refused to leave her mind. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw that silhouette. The reflection behind Ethan wasn't just a shadow. There was movement, a slight tilt of the head, like it was studying him. Sarah began digging into Ethan's past. No criminal record, no enemies, but she found something buried in the local paper archives. An incident in 1998, same building, different owner. A mechanic named Henry Cole had vanished after closing time, leaving his tools still running and his coat on the chair. The official report said presumed runaway, but locals whispered about the thing in the shop. Old-timers claimed the garage had been built over a collapsed mine shaft, sealed decades earlier after 3 miners died inside. People said sometimes, late at night, you could hear knocking from under the concrete. Sarah didn't believe in ghosts, but when she visited the shop alone one night, her logic started to fracture. She arrived just before midnight. The air inside was cold and damp, like the air before a storm. Her flashlight flickered, even with new batteries. And then, that sound, a single knock from somewhere beneath the floor. She froze. Then another knock, slower this time, 3 in total. She recorded the sound on her phone. When she played it back, there was a faint whisper layered over the knocks, a male voice, deep and distant. It said, "He's still here." She dropped her phone. Her flashlight rolled across the floor and stopped near Ethan's old workbench. There, covered in dust, she saw something that hadn't been listed in the evidence report. A photo tucked under a wrench. It showed Ethan and 2 coworkers smiling, but behind them, in the shop window, was that same dark figure again. Only this time, it was looking directly at the camera.
Sarah didn't sleep that night. She sat in her car outside the auto shop, replaying the whisper over and over. Each time, it sounded clearer, like the voice was moving closer to the microphone. By 3 a.m., the street was empty. The town slept. But she couldn't leave. Something inside that shop felt unfinished, like it was waiting for her. She unlocked the door and stepped inside. The air was heavier now, thick. Her breath fogged the beam of her flashlight. The faint hum of the fridge in the back stopped. Silence, so absolute it made her ears ring. Then came that sound again. 3 knocks. This time, louder, directly beneath her feet. Her pulse quickened. She crouched down, pressed her palm to the floor, cold as ice. The concrete wasn't just cold, it was vibrating. She whispered, "Ethan?" The floor creaked. A small crack splintered near the drain, releasing a thin trail of mist. And then her phone buzzed. An unknown number. She answered without thinking. Static. Then a voice, faint, distant, trembling. "Sarah, don't let it out." It was Ethan's voice. The call cut. Her flashlight died. Darkness swallowed the room. She stumbled toward the door, but it wouldn't budge. The metal handle burned her skin like it had been in a fire. In the pitch black, Something scraped across the floor behind her, slow, deliberate, like metal on concrete. She turned. A shape was forming in the shadows, tall, elongated. Its face, if it had one, flickered in and out like a bad signal. It whispered something low and broken in the same voice from the phone. "He said he'd be right back." Sarah backed up until her shoulders hit the door. Her heart hammered. She fired her gun. Once, twice, flashes lighting the room. Nothing. Just echoes. When the lights came back on, the figure was gone. But so was the photo she'd found earlier. In its place lay a single wrench, rusted, dripping with something dark.
When backup finally arrived, Sarah was sitting outside the shop, staring into nothing. Her flashlight lay broken beside her, hands trembling, eyes wide. She kept saying the same thing. "He called me." The officer searched the shop again, every inch. No signs of a break-in, no cracks in the floor, no wrench, no mist. Just silence. They pulled the call logs from Sarah's phone. There was no record of any call at 3:12 a.m., not from any number, not from anyone named Ethan. The next day, the department sealed off the shop as unsafe. Sarah was placed on leave. But she couldn't stop thinking about that whisper, "Don't let it out." 3 days later, she drove back to the site, alone. Yellow tape fluttered in the wind. The windows were dark. She sat there in her car, recording a voice memo on her phone. "I don't know what I saw that night, but I know Ethan didn't just vanish. I think he's still here, somewhere between us and whatever's underneath that floor." Her voice cracked. She took a deep breath. Then she whispered, "I just need to know." That was the last recording she ever made. Sarah Nolan was reported missing 2 days later. Her car was found parked outside the shop, engine still running, driver's door open. Inside the vehicle, detectives found her phone. The final audio file was corrupted, except for the last 4 seconds. A whisper, Ethan's voice again. "I told you I'd be right back." After that, the building was condemned. Locals avoid it now. Teenagers who sneak near the site say sometimes if you stand by the garage door and knock 3 times, you'll hear someone knock back, and if you listen closely, over the hum of the wind, you can hear a man's voice, faint but certain, repeating the same words, "Be right back." Then silence. The kind that fills your chest and makes you wish you'd never come looking.